Hey guys, my name is Adam, and today I have another Rome Total War multiplayer battle replay to show you. This is a Macedon versus Carthage matchup. I am playing as the Macedonians, right over here. My opponent, across the field, is Dom Smudge. I think that is what his name is, but he is playing as the Carthaginians, and he went with a very different build. I don't see this very often. It certainly is a pretty good build, and he does have advantages. It's just not something I see very often. He certainly has a missile advantage. He has a very spread out line, but I don't think he played this build correctly, and we'll get into that in just a moment. But taking a look at my build, I have 6 sets of Royal Pikemen with gold upgrades, which is a pretty standard lineup. This is probably the best infantry component you can have with 15k CWB. And I have 3 sets of regular archers behind them. I believe silver bronze upgrades, which again is pretty standard for me. I didn't go with an out of the ordinary build. I went with something very traditional for Macedon and really any phalanx faction to abide by. So you're not going to see anything too crazy out of me here. In the very back, I have 5 sets of companion cavalry with gold-silver upgrades, because I could not afford the gold because of my strong infantry line. I also put the upgrades on my archers, so that took away a bit of my money, but this is pretty much a perfectly standard Macedonian build, so let's see exactly how this plays out. My opponent has 3 sets of Balearic slingers, 3 sets of regular slingers, and it looks like silver bronze upgrades on each of the Balearics and no upgrades on the regular slingers. That's actually fine. I like the silver bronze upgrades. I definitely approve. For his infantry line, he has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of Sacred Band Pikemen, and they have silver bronze upgrades as well. That's a little bit weak in terms of the upgrades for his line, but Balearic slingers and regular slingers put together cost a lot of money, so I do understand that. He also brought a lot of cavalry, so I guess it's understandable. He brought 3 sets of pointy infantry to back up his Sacred Band. That's definitely a good idea because he had less upgrades. He's going for the numbers game. I definitely approve of that as well. Over here, he has 4 sets of Sacred Band cavalry with silver upgrades. Then over here, he has 2 sets of round shield cavalry with, I believe, bronze attack and bronze defense. So, honestly, I think this is a waste of money. These things cost more than they're probably worth. I personally would have just put more upgrades into my infantry. Even if I could only do it with a couple, that would make them a little bit more sustainable, a little bit better in a long-term engagement. But over here, he has run his slingers way too far forward, and this is probably where his formation is just going to be kind of worthless. He spent a lot of money on these, and I'm instantly going to start routing them with 1 unit of cavalry. I have another unit coming in just so I can quickly wrap up the units that I'm skipping over. He's trying to support with a pointy infantry, but at this point, he should be moving all of his infantry forward, trying to defend these slingers, but it's not really happening. This is a huge blunder by my opponent. He just let a lot of money that he spent go to waste. Not only that, I have my archers shooting at all of these slingers a lot as well. Their morale is horrible. It just doesn't work out. So there go all the slingers. And now my opponent is left in a huge deficit. He spent a lot of money on that, and now that's all gone. I have better upgrades than his cavalry, which I am now about to engage. I'm sending 3 sets to engage his 4, so I'm in a little bit of danger. Send my general over here just to keep the morale up, and I'm going to drop my phalanx formation, but I need to stop these pointy infantry from getting into my formation as well. I'm going to use my other sets of companion cavalry that were fighting as slingers to completely swing around. He's going to try and stop me from doing this, but he just doesn't have enough men here. He doesn't have nearly enough to stop me from doing all of this harassment. So I'm going to continuously do hammer and anvils. There goes his general, and this is the problem on Rome Total War. You can't have your general die like this. The rest of your army is going to be demoralized. They don't want to fight anymore after that. Here he does get his phalanx around, so my charge is not really going to succeed, but it doesn't really matter because my general phalanx unit is cutting into their backs now. So no matter which way he turns, he's in a lot of trouble, and there goes the pointy infantry. It's going to rout, no doubt because the general died, and I mean, with that, it's pretty much done. All of his cavalry is gone, his slingers are dead, and now all he has left is his infantry line, which I will grant is powerful, but I have 6 sets of Royal Pikemen, I have like 5 sets of weakened cavalry. It's not looking good for him. It's not looking good at all, as a matter of fact. Anyway, regardless of that, he is going to start moving up, which I certainly applaud him for doing so. But at this point, I'm just going to put my archers on skirmish formation, and all I need to do is just take some shots at them. All I need to do is align my pike units, and then the last thing I have to do is just have my cavalry completely encircle them. You can see a lot of his slingers actually came back to the fight after a while, but slingers are pretty weak. the thing is, with Carthage and any faction that has slingers with their only missile unit, I almost suggest just going for a full-on rush build, because slingers are so bad. They really are. Kinda sucks. Anyway, these pointy infantry are actually going to rout as soon as they reach my line. Now, I will grant, look at that. That's ridiculous. They just touched my line and got destroyed. Kinda sucks to be them. Anyways, now I'm swinging my cavalry around. He is engaging with a Sacred Band, and in a straight-up engagement, Sacred Band will defeat these Royal Pikemen. The problem is they don't have the same amount of upgrades, and I have a lot of cavalry that can just do this. That is all that I need to do to completely destroy him. It's going to instantly cause a rout, and now I can just do this all the way down the line. I'm going to go from one set to the next and just completely destroy them. That's all that you need to do. I have one set of Royal Pikes all the way on the side here that actually didn't even need to do anything. So, unfortunately for my opponent, this was not his day. His men ended up routing, and he's going to admit defeat there. The thing with Carthage is that, honestly, I don't like having slingers. Whenever I play Carthage, I go for a rush build. Not to say that slingers are horrible, I just think they can't match the power of archers. And when you spend as much money as my opponent did on that, you're missing out on other parts of your army that are much more important for Carthage, such as your cavalry or your infantry. I mean, imagine if the Carthaginians were able to win a cav fight and then do those same rear charges on me. That would have completely changed the battle. It's always something to consider. You need to be very careful about where you spend your money, especially on phalanx factions. Alright, so that about does it, I guess. So I ended up getting 966 kills, and my opponent, Dom Smudge, ended up getting 317 kills. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in future videos.